Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, welcome everyone to our Monday night or Tuesday night. Sorry, I gotta get my
Yes.
brain working here. July the 30th, and many on the call tonight are back from the conference, the global conference in Las Vegas, and that's going to be our focus tonight: is understanding the new things that were introduced, the new programs, the loyalty program, the Prove It Challenge, and so forth. And so we're going to ask all of the people who attended the conference to just share two things. One is what was their best takeaway from the conference and how they see that impacting their business this year. If they've had some success already, or they've, that's great to share. And then we're going to try to explain if there are any questions about the Prove It Challenge and the loyalty program with the shipping. I think those are the two things that we want to emphasize, because some of the other things will be brought out in what was the best takeaway or the most important thing to them at the conference. So we're going to begin tonight with the Dr. Shaklee moment, and Jeff is going to do the Dr. Shaklee moment and kind of tie it in with the bolt sheet at the end. So Jeff?
All righty. Well, it's always an honor to do the Dr. Shaklee moment. And before I forget, I found out yesterday, those of you that were at conference and saw the introduction with Dr. Shaklee and Forrest Jr. and they're going to make that. They're editing that, and we are going to have that to where like we'd be able to show that at the beginning of this call or send it to somebody. So that introduction with Dr. Shaklee introducing the company is going to be made available, which I thought those of you that saw that at the conference, that was really, really powerful and really good.
That was great.
So anyway, that is going to be made available. So anyway, a little bit about Dr. Shaklee and the founder of our company and what he is just, the more I research Dr. Shaklee, the more proud I am, besides the fact that he's from Iowa and that's where we're from. Um, I'm so proud to be part of this company and what he stood for. I mean, you realize Dr. Shaklee was the first one to introduce multiple vitamins with his vitalized minerals back in 1915. And then a little bit about Dr. Shaklee and how it ties into tonight is Dr. Shaklee was such a visionary that, and I don't know where I heard it, whether I heard it on another call, whether I heard it at convention, but I've heard it over the years. If Dr. Shaklee, when he quit his retired in 1956 and started Shaklee, he could have gone in and opened up a little building in Hayward or Oakland or the Bay Area there. And as well known as he was and everything, he probably could have sold $100,000 worth of products a year. But Dr. Shaklee was a visionary in so many ways, and Shaklee had a product, and they went and looked for a way to distribute those products, and that was multi-level marketing. And through multi-level marketing and allowing all of us and people over the years to have an opportunity to share the products, to share in the wealth, um, he created the Shaklee Corporation. And through the Shaklee Corporation, now we move hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of products a year compared to 100,000 if he'd have done it. If Dr. Shaklee would have sold them through his business or practice, it probably would have died off when Dr. Shaklee finally completely retired or passed away. Instead, he left this legacy company to us with the products that are not compromised on ingredients, that are not compromised on science. I remember back in the '96 Olympics when Shaklee took my son and I there, and Dr. Jim was there, and he was telling me back then, and Shaklee was so far ahead of the curve, and this is kind of off on from Dr. Shaklee, but it's a philosophy that Dr. Shaklee instilled in this company all the way through, that the science and the cutting edge things in the future would be on the delivery systems, on is this product bioavailable at this part in your intestine, for example, with the Optiflora? Is this product the best bioavailable for your body, and is it digested in the different parts of your body? And so the science that has been instilled in the Shaklee Corporation from Dr. Shaklee all the way back to the beginning, um, with what he put in the company, with the ingredients, with the process, and then the guaranteed results, which we'll talk about here later on in the live it, or yeah, live it, prove it, share it, or no, prove it, live it, share it. I always get those in the wrong order. The prove it, live it, share it. You got to prove it to yourself, then you live it, then you share it. Anyway, and just a little bit of side note, and I'll get out because we can talk about Dr. Shaklee for years. But Dr. Shaklee was a visionary and so far ahead of his time. Some of his good friends and mentors and I guess you would want to call it think tank buddies were Henry Ford, Harlan Sanders, Colonel Sanders, and a whole lot of other industry leaders in the industrial revolution, the industrial age and stuff. So anyway, we're tied with the right company, with the right person, and we got a pretty neat founder to be proud of what we're involved with. So that's my Dr. Shaklee moment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very good. Okay, I hope you've been thinking about what your best takeaway and how that might impact. And if you've had a little story since you got home, that would be great too. So I'm just gonna kind of how you are on my screen. Sully was there, so Sully, you want to go first? What was your best takeaway, and how's it going to impact your business? So you need to unmute yourself, or Jeff, unmute him.
You got it.
Okay.
Very good.
My best takeaway is the support that the office is going to provide us in order for us to share the products with the people that we come in contact with. The challenge is the next best thing, because I think doing the Prove It Challenge is going to allow people to realize that you can create some income immediately by helping other people live healthier and a better life. And then you might also be able to build your business, because they're going to understand that this is a legitimate business and it's not something that just going to be a fly-by-night thing. So those are the two things that I really felt comfortable with: the support and the challenge.
Okay, good. And you're traveling now and meeting up with family, so you're going to have an opportunity to practice on them.
Yeah. Could I share that with you?
Sure.
I have three nephews that's, well, one of them is sitting here now with us, and all three of them said that they're interested. And I'm talking about people from age 19 to, how old are you? 43. And so
Okay, good.
introducing younger people to what we do, I think that's really a goal. And this is the first time that they have felt comfortable with me telling them about what we do.
Good. It makes it really easy. Okay. Skip, you were there, and so you can unmute Skip and you can share with us. We're not hearing you. Can you unmute yourself? There you are.
Well, I came away with a lot of things, but the most important thing is I came back with enthusiasm. I was a little frustrated with my business before I went, and I kind of feel like I can get back in the swing of things and really get things to going again.
That's great.
Great. Sort of a relaunch.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
that was a feeling everybody had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. Anything else?
Probably could come up with a bunch of things, but the main thing was the enthusiasm and giving me a boost.
Good, good.
I've got a lot to learn when it comes to this social media, but
Yeah, but you know, we don't have to do social. I mean, that can be a piece of it if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. I mean,
well,
it's just talking to people, building a relationship.
I did call. Well, I sent out an email this morning, and then I called several of my people today and got them to move their orders up prior to the 15th because all mine order after the 22nd. So I got to touch base with some of them and talk about
Good.
the conference and everything.
That's so important.
Yeah, that talking to them. That's great. That's great. Thank
Let
you.
me add something here, since this is kind of an informal discussion and just kind of piggyback off of what Skip said, and it's a little bit about what we talked about on the Shaklee Zoom call yesterday. The way this is set up, and the more I look at this, the live it, prove it, share it, and it's not only for social, and I'm going to do it. I'll do a Zoom one of these days here on social and how to really maximize some of the social stuff, because I've got some pretty good mentors in social that have showed me ways with Facebook, not just blasting stuff out there, but getting involved in different groups that you can build relationships in, which social is still a relationship building. If you want to get good at social, the people that are good at social build the relationships through the social first. But the deal with the way the prove it, live it, share it is set up, and the rewards program and all this is set up, is to encourage contact with our people. Meaning, there's a lot of reasons and there's a lot of feedback that encourage us to connect with our people using the new system. I don't know whether I'm making that clear or not, but it's all these little stepping stools, and they'll send you an email, and if somebody's on the rewards program is like you did with contacting them about the time of the month to have their auto ship. It gave you a reason to contact the people, to move it up, to make that personal contact. And as you look through this and really start to get to understand the rewards program and the prove it, live it, share it, it's designed to encourage contact with our people, which I think is so strong. And I'm really excited about a company program, and it just shocks me because they've really thought this out and the nuances are really strong. So anyway, I just wanted to add that to what Skip said.
Okay, no, thank you. Okay, Sherry, you were there. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Jeff, do you need to unmute her?
I'll see if I can unmute her.
Oh, Jeff, there we go.
Okay,
There she is.
there we can hear you.
Okay, well, I started making a long list of my takeaways.
Now you can't have the whole hour.
No, okay. All right. Well, there's a lot of things that piggyback on what Sully and Skip have already said, but I think Mel Robbins' keynote speaker really set a tone for the 54321, and Kim is consistently putting it on every text message we chat with, and I'm like, okay, that's right, 54321. So which is fantastic, and I really liked how they in multiple talks throughout the session, throughout the conference, they would bring it up, the 54321, 54321. And that was good. And then they also, reinforced the other concept of taking healthcare from sick care to well care. That phrase was used multiple times, integrated into the talks of the other speakers. And I really thought that showed so much unity and organization in what they got their act together. I mean, it was just blowing my mind. I don't know how they can keep up with that after, seeing I was a first-time attendee, if they can keep doing that. I also love the science research. I thought was just fascinating, and I always love to hear that. And I met Roger, shook his hand, got a picture. Yay!
Good.
And then the other quick thing was that it's Orlando for next year. So I kept telling Linda I want to go to Harry Potter, so I'm on my way.
Good one.
Good.
I need to sign up though, but okay. My biggest challenge is still going to be stepping out of my box. Stepping out of the box. I'm not naturally a salesman like this, but I realize that I really don't have to sell much if I'm just true and continue to be an authentic networker of what I believe, what I experience, and I mean, this company is so much in alignment with how I am with, the trustworthiness and the integrity and maintaining all those kinds of particular characteristics. It's a perfect match for me to choose. This is kind of my sales pitch now, I guess, to choose an additional part-time job to help with my retirement. So that can be kind of in that direction. So
Good.
So.
Interesting. You say to step out of your box. That's when you say, when you're hesitating, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was great.
Talking to my younger son about it. He says, "Oh, I've been doing that for years." And I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, I see that pretty girl over there." And I start talking myself out of it. And then I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then he goes for it. I thought it was so funny.
Good. Okay. Thanks, Sherry. Kim, you were there, weren't you? Yeah. I uncertain on how many and who from Frank's group, but so what was your best takeaway, and how do you see it impacting you?
Well, piggybacking all of Sully, Skip, and Sherry, renewed my belief, and with Mel Robbins, my courage. And as Sherry said, I keep telling myself, sharing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with everyone in my family, whether it be, Shaklee or just, whatever is going on in their life. But I was, I came home, I made the list on the plane, everyone was delayed, and I reached out to Downline, and it's easier than I ever thought it would be. Just pick up that phone and just do it. And I got some results. I have some meetings this week, and it was that easy. And before, it was you talk yourself out of it. But just, them sharing with the Olympics, the science symposiums, everyone just renewing my belief and just being with all you wonderful people and knowing we're aligned with the right company, and it's as a servant to share. I'm excited. I'm not taking this off until I have 3 pick kits sold. So
Good.
It's a conversation piece. Like, what hospital did you go to? I said Dr. Shaklee's, and then it kind of.
That's good.
So I was like, well, I'm using everything, and I was practicing my little unboxing video tonight, and I don't have the technology, Jeff, to hold my whatever to figure that out yet. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I will figure that out. So I think this is going to get me over some hurdles and challenges that I've had in the past. Just I feel with all the simplification of just presenting the Prove It challenge and the tools and just thinking out of my box on how to follow up. And they gave you all those examples and reasons like Skip did, like, with the loyalty programs. And it's just simpler, and it just, you want to. It's just, you want to make connections, and you want to just share it and get that yes, no, or maybe. So yeah,
Good.
I'm excited.
Good. I can tell that. The excitement comes through in our voices.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
And I am registered for Orlando.
Good. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kim. Linda? Can't hear you.
I got it. Okay. Well, you said 2 things. So first of all, I'm going to say Jerry and Kim are amazing dancers. We had a great time at the nightclub, and even though it was past my bedtime, it started at my bedtime, so I was pretty proud of myself for staying awake. Okay, no, seriously, I think of Roger as he's such a caring, loving person, and he wants to do so well. But he didn't buy a little ship. He bought a giant ocean liner. And you just don't turn that sucker around overnight because he cares about the people. He could have come in and just said, this is how we're doing it. But he's taken time to learn people and care for people and understand them. And what he presented at this meeting just made me more excited than I've ever been, I think, in Shaklee ever, because he has simplified it, basically gone back to the way I got started in my business. I didn't have to decide what to sell somebody. I just told them to drink the stuff and take the pills. That was it. And so it was so easy. So what he's done is they've developed a program that is like that. And I loved his analogy that he gave during the conference of Apple having all the products, you know, the phones and the iPads and the, I don't know what all they have, watches and everything else. And they don't just sit down and present everything to people. People start with the phone. They start with the cell phone, and then before you know it, they need the tablet, and then they need the phone, and then they need everything else. So it works its way up. But it's simple. They sell them the phone and then move forward. Frank gave me a little boost on Saturday night to try to get me moving toward the $1,000, which I may or may not get to, but it doesn't matter. I'm moving forward really fast. I started talking to people immediately. I can't keep up with my list, as a matter of fact. Every time I think of, I talk to somebody, I think of 3 or 4 more. And a brand new person, a friend was sitting and listening. And this is, I'm going to get kicked out of the church because I did this after church. And then I did it before the Bible study. And then I did it at another meeting that we had. My minister has been there all the time. And I've been waiting for her to come up and say, this is a church, not a business. But I do it outside and after or before. I'm not doing it in the middle. But so this other friend was already a member, and she was listening, and she wanted to do it. So she's going to do it. So we're starting at my church a little 30-day challenge group working together. And so since she had kind of talked up Shaklee to this person that I sponsored, I gave her the $25 referral thing. Well, she got so excited about that, she started telling me some more people she wanted to recommend. And I just said, okay, I'm not going to turn down referrals, because when she goes and says, you got to talk to Linda, this is great, that's worth $25 to me for somebody to say that. So I've got several more to talk to tomorrow and that they've recommended. And I've also been talking to people in my group about buying products. A lot of them have seen that email that Shaklee sent about the $150 you get free products. So I was talking, so I started doing the order with them, and then usually, you know, they stop at some little piddly amount. And this time I said, okay, well, you're up to $60. And she said, oh, I said, you remember you get free shipping at $150. She said, don't worry, we're going to get to $150, no problem. And I went, oh, okay, whatever. And so she said, what else do I need? I just started telling her things. And I just want to say one last thing about the easiness of this. I have felt like a fraud in a lot of respects when I would sponsor people into Shaklee, because I'm not a nutrition expert. I'm not a doctor. And they'd say, well, what should I take? And I'm going, I don't, that's not right. And now all I have to say is you start with the protein and the vitalizer, and the cleanse. And so this lady, when I was talking to her, she sat down and she asked the same question everybody does. What do you think I need? I have, this is kind of bothering me and that's kind of bothering me. And I said, let me tell you what I suggest you start with. And I told her, and she said, okay, that sounds good. And then she bought the kit. So to me, this has just made it where Shaklee is so easy to do and so easy to share. And then you can just move forward from there with adding more products and adding the, or I'm just going to let these ladies recommend people left and right to me right now. And then I'm going to say, I told them I would pay them until the end of the month because I'm trying to get a lot of more sales by then. And I'm going to just tell them after that, if they want to keep getting $25, there's an easy way to do that. They can just roll up to distributor. So to me, everything is just so easy. And yes, there's a couple of little glitches that I need to iron out about dates and stuff and social. Thank you, Jeff. That would be great. But I can't tell you how excited I am. This is fantastic and so easy. I rolled up 800 or 900 TVs in 2 days. And that may not be a lot to some of you, but that's a lot for me. So I'm really excited. Okay, I'm going to be quiet so that people can talk to me.
Well, Linda, you just
That's
feel
great.
it in your voice.
That's
You
great.
can just feel it.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. I just can't stand it.
That's good.
Okie doke. Good. Thanks, Linda. Okay, Ginger and Tim. Unmute.
Unmute.
They're
Good.
unmuted.
And we had to get there. We had to scroll through the deal. Hey, best conference we've attended, and thoroughly enjoyed the presenters and the information, mainly because of the substance of the presentations. Not only from Mel with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but the entire Shaklee project. And I've heard it all tonight, so I'm going to cut mine short. Easy, relaunch, re-engage. For people like us, this is a great opportunity. And we've been looking forward to this for so long. And when we were sitting there in the auditorium and listening to people talk, we honestly felt like they were speaking directly to us and what we need to do with our business. And they've made it so simple. 3 of our most popular products, all packaged beautifully, and a very simple way to promote them. And you couldn't ask for more if you're us. So we really enjoyed that.
Yeah, good. Ginger?
Okay, well, I kind of did a brainstorm of the words that I've heard at conference and now during this call and what Tim and I have talked about. And I just want to share some of these words. They all start with E. So, my takeaway, first of all, was the energy and the excitement that was initiated at the conference. And then adding to that, that we really took some time to evaluate what are the strengths? Why is this for us now? And it definitely is. Also, sticking with the E, and many people brought up how easy it is now. And with that, it's almost effortless, I think, at this point. We don't have to learn everything. It's a enthusiasm, there's another E, for sharing what works and being very explicit with the extraordinary products and opportunity that we have. And I'll finish this off with the experience, and it's been alluded to many times, but just the personal experience that the higher ups and that the everyday people like us are bringing and sharing, and that it does work. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm really excited for us and for everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you. I'm living through.
There you go. Yep.
Yep, that's great. That's great. Well, it was, it's great to see the energy of everybody on the call tonight. And it's coming through,
It
that,
shows.
that authenticity. Okie doke. George. We're not hearing you, George. We don't hear you.
How do we mute ourselves?
George, we can't hear you. Do you need to be on your phone or we can't hear you? Okay. Let's see who else is that.
You could call in on the phone.
How do we mute ourselves?
We did it.
No, we're still unmuted.
Okay, well,
Maybe he should unmute. Does he have a phone up here also? Does he have both?
Yeah.
George, can you unmute your phone? The icon on the screen, that's the phone.
I don't see the phone anymore. That one's
Doesn't-
gone.
Computers, because one.
Well, anyway,
Hey.
we'll go on, and then if he can figure it out, we'll come back and pick up George. So
Okay. Is there anyone else other than Frank and Jeff and I that haven't really shared? Because I can't see the list. I mean, I did look at the list. Is there anyone else that was at the conference that hasn't shared?
I think that's it, unless I'm.
Okay. I'm sorry that John and Vicky and Walt couldn't be on tonight, and I should have probably called them personally. But one of the exciting things for those of you that were at the conference that I want to bring to your attention, if you move up in rank, paid on what you're paid on in the month of June by, I'm not sure the date, but I think by the end of the year, by December, that you will automatically be qualified to go to Costa Rica. Those people that were at the conference, that was one of the big things. And the Sully, if you break out a director by the end of the year, you will go to Costa Rica on the trip. Walt will do the same thing, and so will John and Vicky. So the three we had there need to build one sales leader, one director, and they'll go to Costa Rica. Now, some of the rest of you are in the same situation, because I don't know where everybody is and what your situation is, but you can do that. Well, Tim and Ginger can too. I was thinking about our personal first levels, but you can do the same thing, and you can go to Costa Rica. So anyway, George, are we tuned in so that no, we can't hear you. Okay, Frank, you want to go?
Sure. All right.
Okay, Sherry.
George was on two computers. He had one problem with video, so he went to his laptop. Maybe your desktop has audio and no video. Maybe you could try that one. Anyway, all right, let me hit on a couple things. As far as the conference takeaways, I love Mel Robbins. Reminded me again, I'd read half the book when they gave it to us in February when we were out at the master's meeting, and then I set it aside, and so I knew a little bit about what she was going to talk about. But I think, and I've used that in the past a lot of times when you feel a little sluggish going into work or whatever, is just you've got to pick up the phone and start calling. So really, really enjoyed her talk. I enjoyed our reception. I thought it was an exceptional reception. I thank all of y'all for attending. I think we had great input, and with Joe and Jim from the home office, that was a great addition. I think that really went well. This doesn't have to do necessarily with conference, but it was kind of launched there, even though they didn't talk about it. If you haven't looked at your back office on the reports, go in and look at those reports again now with personal group and business group. It's like the old days where you have people showing under other people, and you can figure out who has volume and where it comes from. I was super excited about that. the materials they gave us. I got this, and I was just talking to Jim Report right before I got in on the call tonight. Was asking, some of them are available, the product catalogs, a couple of those brochures, but this Love Your Life, I think everybody got one of these, and it does have a product code, but for some reason it's not orderable yet. But I think it's one of the best things we've had in a long time that goes into explaining, particularly, it tells a little bit of the thing about what the business is all about, but then gets into what is a director, what's a senior director, and kind of the advancements at each level. So you don't have to tell everything like that to somebody. You show it to them, and they can really read that and figure out where do they want to be right away. So a number of different tools and things. I'm excited about the people that went and have come back with the excitement that you've seen here on this call tonight. Skip, as far as, and a lot of people don't know, but Skip's been running 1,500, 2,000, and a number of months she'll do 2,000 PV. So she isn't, just way far off from being a director and a solid director again. So seeing the excitement there, I think that bodes well for building that business. Linda, what she said, like say Saturday night, I saw that she had quite a bit more PV than normal maybe for the month, and just throughout that challenge was still going on where she could earn $1,000. A lot of you had the month of July to replace one of your lowest months. And when I looked at it, it was a big number, but I looked and said, hey, if you do 2,700 PV in the next 3 or 4 days, you could still get that $1,000 bonus. And a lot of people would just say, oh, big deal or whatever. But when you start thinking, well, if you did the extra 2,700 and you take the extra $1,000 or whatever you make plus the $1,000 you get, it starts to become pretty lucrative. It's almost like 80% commission to do that couple 3,000. And she was already excited. She got out there, and like I say, in the last 2 days, I think done another 800 or 900 PV outside of all of her group. That isn't people just that have done stuff. So I'm just seeing a lot of excitement. I know George is excited. I got an email or a text from Barbara. She couldn't be on the call, but you could just tell the excitement in the email, and love Mel Robbins, love the simplicity. So I'm just kind of hearing it across the boards. And I just feel a re-energized thing. And what I'm really hearing from the new people is that hey, this is really something simple that I can do. And those of us that have been around for a long time, I think we're so used to getting confused in so many things that I really do think that this is a program where you bring people in, get them trying certain products, get them hooked on the products, get them out doing it right away, and seeing some successes, which will build all of our businesses. So just a lot of really exciting stuff. And I appreciate you hosting this call tonight, Joanne.
Well, it's our pleasure, and I just feel the excitement. And for those couple of people who are on, or 3 or 4, whatever, that weren't at the conference, I think you can feel the enthusiasm and the excitement, and that it is genuine. It's not, I think I'm going to go ahead and say a few things, and then Jeff can maybe wrap up before he does the vote sheet. But one of the things that came across to me so strongly was the tone of the conference. There was a lot of emotion this time, some very emotional experiences, particularly the Olympic athletes. The little Eli Bremer's little boy that was born weighed a little over a pound, and Eli's wedding ring was on his little arm as a bracelet. And then to see him bounce on the stage, I'm thinking he's probably about 3, maybe 4, somewhere in that. Oh, he is 5. Okay. I didn't pick that up. But seeing him bounce on the stage and thinking that little boy, that little baby hooked up with all those tubes and wires and everything, and then to be able to come out there. And then, of course, interacting with the little girl of the rower with the little teddy bear that they were playing. I mean, it was so spontaneous, and it was so real. we think of Olympic athletes as kind of on a pedestal and they, you know, are so special, but they're people. And that was the thing that for me, the Olympians didn't get on and say, oh, I used Shaklee and I rode faster, or I used Shaklee and I, whatever, I curled better. They talked about in their home, Shakleeizing their home, using the cleaners because they wanted a toxic-free home. So everything was more real and more emotional. And to me, that's what Shaklee's all about. For them to say how Dr. McManus and the home office scientists had helped them put together with Licolee and so forth for this little baby because it wasn't going to be able to use nutrients. And it was just, to me, that was one of the really overwhelming. Of course, I have this soft spot in my heart for babies. I just can't get enough of babies. But that was one of the main things. Then Bill Firth on the last morning sharing with his usual enthusiasm and genuine belief and his dedication to Dr. Shaklee and the philosophy, that's a high point. And of course, Mel Robbins and all the other things. But I think the real people and the real feeling that I came away from the conference, there wasn't the whoop-de-doo and jumping around and doing silly stuff. Everything was very focused. And I'll just kind of close that with, we started out in 1970, bought our first product. In 1971, we sponsored in January. We used only the cleaners and the skincare and cosmetics until Mavis said to us, if you don't want to keep taking naps all the time, you just need to try this. You drink this protein and you take this Vital E, and if you don't feel better in 30 days, you get your money back. And that's what Earl did. And he quit taking naps, and the rest is history. But Vital E and protein on the money back guarantee, that's how we started. And I think if we can go out and share that, the strip and shake, the vitalizer and a shake every day. And this morning we had an interesting conversation. I tell you, I sent that card out about the price increase. We've done 6,000 PV in the last 3 days. I mean, the orders I gave them till yesterday to get it into me. I placed 50 some member direct or drop shipment orders on the computer for people. It's been crazy, but I had one gal and she had ordered about $300 worth of stuff, and she gave, and I have her credit card on file, but it wouldn't go through. And so I called her, left a message. She called me back and she said, oh, I had a fraud on my credit card. I've got a new credit card, so here's my new number. And so we got done, and so then she asked me a question about Vivix because she'd ordered that and something. And I said, you know, Carla, this we've got kind of a new exciting way of introducing Shaklee. And I said, we've got this, because she said, well, I suppose I should probably be taking Vital E. And that kind of opened the door. And I said, I explained to her about the Prove It Challenge. And before I even got into it, she said, oh, send me one of those. And I said, let me finish telling you about it. And so I did. I told her, and she said, oh, put it on my credit card, order it for me. And I was so excited. And about 10 minutes later, I don't know, Jeff, did you call me or did I call you?
I called you and you were on the call with Carla. So then you called me back.
And so I told him when I was on, and I said, I just did my first Prove It challenge. And he said to me,
you're about an hour late. You said I got, you said
done
I
one
got
an hour before.
I got our first Prove It challenge. I said, no, you got the second one. You're about an hour late. Because I was calling to give her the credit card number for the one that I'd gotten a little bit earlier.
So, and both of these were people that have been in our organization, Carla, for probably 30 years, 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, probably closer to 40.
And the one with Jeff, it's only been a couple of years. And she really hasn't used anything but laundry stuff.
Yep.
So,
it was real simple with, I don't know, are you done? You want me to just
yeah,
take that?
that pretty much wraps up. I wanted to close with that. And then
Okay.
you can talk and then go into the vote sheet.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, before you talk, I think Robert Birch is on here, the no picture, but I think that's his 214 down there. So if he unmutes, because he was at conference with us the first time attendee, and love to hear him throw out his input also, because I know he's been working with some social media stuff. Robert, you still there?
I unmuted him.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
There's not really much I can add. I guess the thing that sticks out in my mind the most from the conference was to treat it like a business, which I'm guilty of not doing that. And so that has already changed, in fact. So, but Mel Robbins, that was really great. It was all awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad we went. But that's really all I have to add.
All righty, thanks.
Did we get George so we can hear him?
Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. I was fooling with the dad burn computer and finally looked like I could talk. I don't, yeah. No, my comment is I'm glad, Robert, you came. Robert's a businessman, and anything he's done, he's made success at it. So now he's applying his business drive to Shaklee. So, hey, get going, Robert. That's great. I'm excited because they finally came up with the keep it simple, stupid approach. In sales, you got to have something that's duplicatable and easy for people to do. And with Shaklee's humongous number of products, it's so hard to know where to start, right? And so, like you said, Linda, just start with that. And so I really like that approach. I will mention, Frank said to me right before we left, he sent me the Health Quest by Dr. Painter. And I did some seminars in the old days with Dr. Bruce Miller. I know him. And it was the Shaklee Difference 2019. I loved it so much I ordered 100 of them when I got back, or right before I left, Frank. And when you couple that, if someone asks, what's Shaklee? I've already scanned it on the computer, sent it to them, sent it to somebody yesterday. They read that. If they're going to hear about that, read about Dr. Shaklee, they're going to read about the science, the incredible quality control. If they read that and they're not interested, they're not a prospect. That piece is great. You couple that with the Prove It Challenge, and I'm still giving out the book, Frank. A lot of people need to make more money, and July's a big month for me. I turned 70. I'm 48 years in the life insurance business, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Shaklee. I really believe that. God, number one, but God gives us the brains to do what's right. And if it wasn't for Shaklee, I wouldn't have the energy and all the things I do because of all that has happened to me in the past with my health. So I'm 100% believer in Shaklee. And know that when you get someone on that product, you're helping them. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got to say. I'm excited, Frank. I'm gonna get going. I'm glad Robert's excited, and some of the others I've talked to are excited. This is a great conference.
Great.
Good. Hey, before Jeff,
to George for thanking him at getting at that door to enter at God knows how early in the morning every day at the conference, so we could have the seats, that we would run down the aisles and get the seats and save them. So thank you, George.
My pleasure. I still get up at 5 in the morning. It's like I used to work on a dairy farm. So I got to do something with my time.
Well, thank you.
I lost my picture, but I was trying to mute myself. Can I just add one last thing?
sure.
We don't have time to talk about it right now, but George brought it up. We're not throwing out the 4-year career plan because I can see this just leading us right to it.
Yeah.
But wanted to say that I've experienced now I feel like I need to call Richard Brooks and say, okay, you were right, because I have a list of people, not that I have to talk to, but I can't wait to share this with them because I know it's going to make them feel better. And so I've gotten a few no's along the way in this last 2 days, which seems like about a month, but this last 2 days. And when the person said no, my first thought was, oh, poor you. But I didn't say that. I just said, I respect that. That's not a problem. And we just went on because I didn't have time to fool around about it or worry about it or feel discouraged by it, because I had so many more people on my list that I just had to get to see if I could help them feel better. And that's the whole point. I'm not trying to get to them to earn the $1,000. I'm getting to them because I know this thing is going to work and make them feel better. So the no's, I just didn't have time to worry about them.
Good. Hey, I just thought of something. We've got Norma and we had Trudy. I don't know if Trudy's still here, but you weren't there, but you've heard all this. And do you have a question or something, or do you want to make a comment? So Norma, you want to unmute yourself, and where did you go? Okay, you popped up in another corner.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to, I was on the call last night, the Zoom. I'm trying to get up to speed. Obviously, you guys are way ahead of me. I don't even know what to ask other than what you've shared. So,
okay, well, and feel free to give me a call anytime, and I'll go through any of it with you too.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Is Trudy still on? I don't see her.
I don't see Trudy now.
Yeah. Okay.
We're right at the hour too. Actually, we're after a couple minutes after. So if people had something scheduled, we're kind of going over. So
yeah, and I don't know that Twyla was able to get her phone.
I don't think she got her phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Phone ready.
Okay. Well, you want to wrap up then, Jeff?
Okay. Well, I'll wrap up real quick and I'll go over the bolt sheet real fast. But I guess the simplicity of how it works. I proved that this morning with Connie, as far as just simply saying, I knew she was having some thyroid problems. She'd been was in a bad accident, wasn't feeling well. She'd been battling some weight issues, and I just plain called her up. She'd use the cleaners. She loves the cleaners, but she takes other vitamins and stuff. And when I called her up, I said, Connie, I said, I got something I need to run by you. I said, and she loves the laundry. But I said, I need to run this by you. And I guarantee you'll feel better. What I'd like to have you do, I said, it's $159. I told her that right out the gate. I said, it's $159. I said, I know you've been saying you're not feeling as well. We had the landmark study. I said, and she knows my parents. I said, Dad was in the landmark study. I said, and we can actually say, because we've got the proof that no other company has, that we can lower how many medications you have to take by 83%. And went through, and she had seen those because I'd posted them on my Facebook thing. Didn't say anything about them, but she'd seen them. And I said, what I'd like to have you do is take it's a gentle cleanse, not a harsh cleanse. You don't have to stay by the bathroom all week. She said, well, I love cleanses. And I said, well, I'd like to have you take the cleanse, do the Prove It challenge. I said, it's $159, but actually you're not eating one meal a day, so that you would spend $5 to $10 on that meal. So you're really not talking about any more out-of-pocket expense. And if you don't feel amazingly better, we give you your money back. So what do you got to lose? You're going to feel better, or I give you your money back. She says, okay, you want my credit card? I mean, it was that easy. And the neat thing about it is Connie is a nail tech and does detoxes with the ionic stuff in her salon. And I don't know how many people she sees a day. She talks all the time. And she's been in the same location for 30 years. I mean, so when she has results with this, I can't imagine the referrals that'll come. You just, send them our way. So anyway, the live it, prove it, share it challenge to me, or prove it, live it, share it, is to me is such an easy way to build this business. I mean, come on, if you really want to feel better, you take it for 30 days. If you don't, we'll give you your money back. Just pretty simple. You either want to feel better or you don't. And then the other thing about that really got me, and I'll finish with this before I go into the quick on the bolt sheet, was the parade of $1 million earners at the conference. Somebody timed it. I don't remember who it was. They timed it, but it was 12 and a half minutes of people walking across the stage that have earned over $1 million with this company. That's a lot of millionaires this company has made. I mean, and it was every walk of life, every religion, countries from all around the world, every race, every background was representative. It didn't matter where you came from, what you did. There's somebody you can identify with. This company has made it so easy for us to succeed right now, and we got living proof. I mean, we paid out $8 billion with a B dollars in bonuses. I mean, that's unheard of. So anyway, I was just really excited to come away from the conference here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through the bolt sheet real quick.
As you're running through the bolt sheet, I'm going to say one last thing about our 4-year career 90-day run course. We're taking this week off. We'll be back next week. I think most of y'all know that. You should have your videos to look at. And I was just going to say a little earlier in regards to also with Sherry's dropped off now, but Sherry and Kim, I think with all of us, it's increased our PV. We got new people coming in with this new Prove It, Live It challenge. So start identifying people that maybe we want to transition into using the 4-year career book to further their business. And we'll probably have another course, 2-3 months from now or whatever. And so just keep that in the back of your minds. And if you're a person that hasn't participated and think that you would like to, because I really do think that it's helpful. And I think it led to the excitement of Kim and Sherry going into conference and coming out of conference because of that course. You can raise your hand, say if I'm right, Kim, but anyway, there we go. So go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I agree. I think this ties right in with the 90 days as far as just take a look, just try the products, just take a look. And I think we definitely, that's something we got going for us. So, all right, let me find it. I'll do the share. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Well, again, let me set this up. This is how if somebody has said, I want to, what's the next step? Yes, I'd like to take a look at what you have. This is what I would go through and do. The Shaklee lifestyle, what Shaklee offers us is a way to change our life, a way to enjoy good health, a way to enjoy a great income, a way to have the time. We can make a great income, but then we need the time to enjoy it. And of course, the tax benefits and the purpose of Shaklee, we're a purpose company. We are a company with a purpose, and that's what all the research shows people buy now, especially the millennials or the Gen X or the Gen X, KYZ, whatever they are. They got all these new names for the latest kids that have come of age to be purchasing products and dealing with a business, want a company with a purpose. And as you've heard tonight, Shaklee's a company with a purpose. What is Shaklee? Shaklee's the leader in the industry in natural nutrition. We're the #1 natural nutrition company in the U.S. We've got well over $300 million in research and 125 peer-reviewed journals, published in peer-reviewed journals, and the biggie, and it's not listed on here, the landmark study, which would be research. We can actually say our products do this. There's no other nutrition company in the world that can legally say what you get when you take these products. We're the only one. So another thing, we're the first company to be ever certified climate neutral. meaning we're a green company. That's not something we can go buy. When they started and went to certified companies as climate neutral, Shaklee was number one, number uno, the first company ever in the world certified climate neutral. You know, we do 100,000 tests annually on products for ingredients and quality. And now, like I said, now we've paid out over $8 billion in bonus. Now, how this works, and I'm going to go over it really, really quick. The bottom, you'll see the different products. And I'm going to talk to you about one product line when we get to what's the next step. But we've got the health, we've got the nutrition products, we've got sports nutrition, we've got skincare, and of course the cleaning products, the all natural cleaning products. Now, where you get started, there's different levels. You want to know how you make money at this business? I know you said you were wondering how you're going to put your kids through college or whatever the situation is at the time. Because remember, as we're doing this, I'm going to be asking people questions as we go along. But they can get in at the participation level, which is a member. They save 15% off of every order. And now we have a rewards program on top of that to where they can earn another 15% by purchasing over time. So that's where you get in. Now, if you want to build a business and you want to build a residual income, a walk-away income, an asset income, you get into the business development. You start as a distributor. The distributor, you get to buy your products at a lower rate. You're going to save anywhere. You're going to make anywhere from $50 to $400 a month. That's your first step. And then director is when you deal with the company directly. You have a lot of support from your upline. But at this point, a director, this is where you're actually starting to get some of the benefits of being a business owner. Now, to go on up to senior director, coordinator, all the way up the other levels, all you simply do is teach people to be directors. And it's a simple, copyable, duplicatable process. Now, let me throw in something real quick before I go into the next step. Our upline was at the conference. Summer was at the conference, the Ewing organization. To me, this is so powerful. These businesses can be passed on. You can sell them. They can be passed on. Ewing started their business and they're presidential masters, top of the line, but they started that business 16 years before Summer was born. They have 25 master coordinators on their recap. That blows my mind. But the idea is that this business can be passed on from generation to generation to generation. And Summer is the grandchild of the people that started this business. You know, Ewing's Bob and Pat, when Bob and Pat said yes to the Shaklee business and build a Shaklee business, they changed the course. And I get goosebumps when I say this. They changed the course of their family's life trajectory forever. I mean, forever. They're, you know, Heather's baby, is what, 9 months old now. That kid is set for life. You know, I mean, so what we have is so powerful. You want to set a legacy, look at a Shaklee business. Look what you can do for your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids. And it doesn't have to be a presidential master. Can you imagine what your kid's going to think on the 20th, 15th of every month when you're long gone? What you're getting, they're getting an extra $6,000, $7,000 a month because you had the foresight to build the Shaklee business. I mean, the opportunity is, to me, to pass on and create a legacy is incredible. So now, what's the next step if you're interested in looking at something like this and looking farther? And I'm really hurrying through this because of time. But what's the next step? The Prove It Challenge. Because you have to love these products. The Ford dealer doesn't sell a Chevy. The Ford dealer doesn't sell a Hyundai. The Ford dealer sells what he has, and he believes in it. So in order for you to be successful at this business, you need to believe in these products. You need to have the experience of understanding and knowing what these products will do. So with that, let's get you started on the Live It, Prove It, or Prove It, Live It, Share It challenge. Prove it to yourself. It's $159. It replaces one meal a day. You're going to have extreme energy. You're going to feel great. If you don't, at the end of 30 days, we'll give you your money back. And obviously, this business wasn't for you. But if you do feel better, you do see the benefits of this product, and we set our next appointment and we'll have a planning session, then you'll understand how the business works and we can go from there. So anyway, that was a really, really quick version of the bolt sheet. I mean, I flew through that, but the more you hear it, the more it'll be easier for you to get it and present with people. And obviously, we've gone long because our crowd is dwindling, but they can go back and look at the video. Thank you all for being on the call tonight. Since we've already gone long, if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and ask them. Otherwise, I will stop the recording, and this will be